So the beauty of me being a manager, this is why we need people of color in this profession. I control what come in my library. Ain't nobody gonna tell me, you know what I'm saying, what I can put in my branch. And case in point, so what you think is a good material for your community may not be good material for my community. You know, the guy DeSantis, like, you know, like who's you to think something that's culturally appropriate or, you know, feasible for somebody to absorb?
Malik's First Job Podcast, here to answer any questions that y'all ask. Financial literacy and resources. Parents and young people becoming bosses. CEOs, future leaders, entrepreneurs. Conferences and boardrooms getting sponsors secured. If you want generational wealth, Brooklyn's own Kerwin Phillip with information to help. Malik's First Job Podcast. Malik's Podcast. Brooklyn's own Kerwin Phillip. Kerwin Phillip. Malik's First Job Podcast. Brooklyn's own Kerwin Phillip. Generational wealth.
All right, cool. Hey, greetings, everyone. How you doing? This is Kerwin Phillip here with another episode of the Malik's First Job Podcast, where we discuss leadership, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy for parents and teens. I got a great guest today. It's my homeboy coming all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, my man Billy Allen. What's going on, Chief?
Hey, man, we chilling. Ain't nothing but that guy level going on, man.
All right. So, for people who do not know who Billy Allen is, I don't know what planet they live on or what, let them know who you are and what you do.
All right, first and foremost, bro, man, I appreciate you allowing me on your platform, man. It's all love, man. You've been rocking with me for a long time.
Yes, sir.
I'm Billy Allen. I am actually a librarian by profession. I've been a librarian for 7.5 years. I'm the branch manager of Whitney Library here in Las Vegas. I got a platform also called Three King Visions, where we help kids develop the love of reading through story time. And it's been a dope journey because, like, the brand has evolved. Because now it's like, you know, I got that slogan, leaders of the new cool. That's what we are. If you're doing something dope in the community, you leaders of the new cool. So now people are, like, really intrigued of what I do day to day as a librarian. So now the brand has evolved where I open up my life to that, man. So, man, it's all about giving back to the community, bro.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned like the story time, and you take a totally different approach when it comes to story time. Tell the people about that.
Yeah, because, you know, when my first librarian interview, bro, they asked me to do a story time. I was like, what is story time? So I started YouTube and stuff and all this. And, like, I don't do the old McDonald have a farm. And I don't, you know, I didn't go to story time when I was younger. You know, my mom always had me and my sister reading. So I was like, okay, let me put my own spin to this. I've always been like an entertainer, bro. But, you know, I was like, you know what? Why can't I mix hip hop into literacy? You know what I'm saying? I'm a big battle rap fan. Like, I watch Smack DVD, URL TV. Like, I incorporate, you know, battle rap, performance, vocal projection, cadence, performance, controlling the stage, controlling the camera. Like, this is all about developing self-confidence because you're reading in public. That's what story time does, man. People don't understand, like stressing the importance of reading, man. This is a lifelong skill that you will have as a professional. You know, one of the scariest things ever for people as adults is talking and reading in front of people. You know, so this is something I feel like this is timeless content that we need to see. And then, like, they never seen a black male librarian before. We make up 0.3%, and just even in this lane of kids content, African Americans, we don't do this. So we're just trying to break barriers, man.
Wow. So what made you say, okay, well, let me utilize hip hop as the vessel to kind of reach the kids?
Right. So, you know, I feel like people don't understand, like, if you look at my profession, a lot of the storytellers, the librarians, are primarily white women or white people. No offense, but it's like, I don't do what you do, but you can't do what I do. So, like, when I'm working in urban communities, like, you know, they're already looking at me, you know, the kids, I'm looking relatable. So I said, I gotta be me. So I said, let me bring hip hop. I'm a diehard hip hop fan, you know. And when I came up with this hip hop story time, or just reading it a cappella in a way where it's entertaining. Like if you study comedians, if you look at the Dave Chappelle's, the Eddie Murphys, like their timing, the punchlines, the delivery, this is all how you reading, man. Like you can read a book, but can you read a book? And I always say that, man. So it's like, my nephew, bro, reads the books like how I do my read alouds. So that's the inspiration right there.
Yeah. So I've seen the videos, you're very energetic. How do the kids receive you as you're doing the story time?
Oh man, they love it because kids got short attention spans just like adults. So if you don't catch them right then, especially when you're on camera, right? I feel like, I watch a lot of other people read alouds. Like, you can't be dull when you're reading the story. And I notice, like, if you go to a lot of YouTube channels where they focus on the page, which I get it, where they're reading in, you can be monotone, but I want you to see me holding the book. Like it's a message within the message, seeing a black man, African-American person holding the book, reading it and having fun. Story time ain't just for the kid. It's for the parent as well, or caregiver, or an older brother, sibling, because it's a connection. It's a bonding, You'll never stop reading. So that's why I love it, man.
Yeah. Nice. So, in the day and time that we live in now, we see that people aren't reading as much as they used to. Right. People are like absorbing content in different ways.
Right.
So do you still think like reading is still as important as it was in the past, even though like people are doing things differently?
Absolutely, man. But see, my job as a librarian is to give the community what they want to read, not what I think they want to read. And I think a lot of people mess up like that, or just even to my children's authors, understand your audience, I mean, if you're going to come in an urban community, do you think they want to read about, other demographics? You know what I'm saying? Talk about our natural curly hair. Talk about me growing through poverty. You know what I'm saying? Overcoming obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Learning about hip hop. Have a rhyming book. It was a lady that came in my branch the other day. This was Monday. I'm 38. She had to been around my age. I can't remember when I looked at library card information, but she was filling out an application to enroll her kids into school. Mm-hmm. And she said, I need your help. I was like, ma'am, I don't mind helping you, but I can't sit with you the whole time on the computer. She was like, I'm dyslexic. She said, honestly, I'm not even dyslexic. I just don't know how to read. She was flat out honest. Wow. And I'm like, wow, because she's going through terms of agreement, saying that she go over policies as far as informing her kids of enrolling them in school. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, this is why my platform is needed. This is why Malik's first job is needed. Like, this is why we need this type of platform and resources and content, because there's people our age in their 30s and 40s that are not literate, And it's like, it's a bigger problem. And then, if the kids say they're not reading, I always tell parents, I even tell my family members, are you reading with them? Do they even see you reading? Yeah. Like it's, sometimes it ain't the messenger. It ain't the message, it's the messenger.
Right. A lot of times the parents got to set the example,
right?
For the kids to actually want to follow.
Straight up.
But that's kind of, that's something that we often don't think about. Mm-hmm. That, there's people out here who are like adults, but still don't know how to read. I know there's a brother, he has like a real big social media following. I can't. He was on like different talk shows. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But he's like, he posts on TikTok and Instagram about his journey into literacy and learning how to read. And people send him books and stuff. And I sent him a copy of Malik's First Job, actually. Hoping that he'll probably read it on his TikTok. But yeah, that's kind of crazy, But it's a reality that exists. That and like I said, we often don't think about.
Well, think about it. And people think reading is always just books. Like, when you fill out a job application, fill out a lease agreement for your apartment, or you want to be a business person, have a brand, you got to read contracts, terms and conditions. Like, it never stops. So if you're not training your brain, to be conditioned to absorb information, like, you're going to get lost, and then you're behind the eight ball, and the world don't care. You know,
Yeah.
they just don't. That's why we need our platforms like me and yours.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the wave that's taking place now, where you have a lot of entities trying to ban books out of like bookstores and libraries and schools? What's your thoughts on that?
So the beauty of me being a manager, this is why we need people of color in this profession. I control what come in my library. Ain't nobody gonna tell me, you know what I'm saying, what I can put in my branch. And case in point, so what you think is a good material for your community may not be good material for my community. You know, the guy DeSantis, like, you know, like who's you to think something that's culturally appropriate or, you know, feasible for somebody to absorb? That ain't it. That ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of contradictory because it only book banning only pertains to people of color or people that have different choices in life.
Right.
You know? And it's like you're trying to control a narrative. And like we ain't having that. As librarians and educators, we ain't playing that, you know. I mean, that's why it's been a popular topic. Shout out to Barack Obama shouting out librarians last week. Shout out to the Brooklyn Library doing the Book of Hope where Beyonce and Jay-Z coming through because we need more celebrities publicizing and talking about the love of reading and literacy and not banning books. They need to be seen in these spaces because it's real, man. It's a real fight.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that, but it's intellectual freedom. This is what libraries represent. You know what I'm saying? Libraries are the only entity that welcome all walks of life, all ideologies. So you can't take that away from us.
Yeah. And you know, today I was reading something. Somebody made a post that I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but in Houston, in their school district, you know, they're trying to replace the libraries. Like I guess they fired a whole bunch of librarians.
Yeah.
And they're utilizing the library space as a I guess a center for discipline or something like that. Right? Have you heard that? Have you seen that?
Yeah. I saw the article. So, you know, it's unfortunate because what happens is it's different types of librarians. So I'm a public librarian. So, you know, I work for the government, but when you talk about these school librarians, these media specialists that work in media centers, you know, they are kind of controlled by the school system. But, you know, you got to fight. You got to fight, man. Shout out to Boss Librarian, one of the dopest librarians out there. She's a school librarian, man. Like, she ain't going for that. I mean, this is where we come together, but then the community, too. The community got to speak, you know. Like, these are the times where we need to step up, you know. Is they going to talk about this when the election comes around? You know what I'm saying? Are your politicians talking about this? Or how about we get our own people to become politicians to fight against that, man? Because what they're doing is other demographics are trying to create narratives and trying to control things and control information. That's not how society works. You know, look at the demographic of Houston. There's a lot of black people there. Let's keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of black people, you know, and there's still racist people out in the South. I'm from the South. You from the South. We know how it is. So, you know, we got to have these powerful people like, you know, Boss Librarian, myself, Mr. John. I mean, all my dope librarians out here to continue to push the need for reading, man. It's important, bro. It's important. Like, I can't stress that. And we're fighting. And, you know, they can never take away libraries, man. Like, especially from a public library perspective. I could talk from my perspective. Like, you know, we welcome everybody. Libraries ain't just about books in public libraries. I'm a matchmaker for resources. You know, we do stuff, mobile shops for the homeless, social workers. Check out, we got a game changer coming up. Where you can check out Wi-Fi hotspots in my library already. But now, with your library card next month, you're gonna be able to check out a free Wi-Fi hotspot to go throughout Las Vegas and get free internet for a whole year.
Oh wow!
So you want to take away that? This is a community. Libraries are a safe space for kids, for people. You know, you can't go to Starbucks no more. You go on the internet, apply for jobs. You can't go to Walmart and lounge around all day. We got free internet access. We're a cooling station. We have AC. You know, we have English learning classes. You know, if you want to, we got performing arts. I got a performing arts coordinator. I got a concert hall in my library. You know, I got an art gallery. We support the community. They can't never get rid of libraries, man. That's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I saw that that article earlier, or the post that the person made, it made me think about the whole concept of the school to prison pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
And how
Mm-hmm.
they're trying, as you said, that they're trying to limit information, and we are living right now in the information age where you can access everything from your cell phone, right?
Yeah.
So you can access as much information as you want, and they're trying to limit that, and also knowing the fact that that they plan
Yeah.
prisons based on that third grade reading level, right? So if they're eliminating books, not really promoting literacy, then what's
Yeah.
going to happen to those scores of those children that are in the schools,
I'm
right?
gonna tell you, shout out. I don't know if you're following Tiffany Fontenot. We are here lit.
Mhm.
She's done a couple of seminars. I've done a seminar with her as far as the prison to pipeline issue going on with young black boys. Like
Right.
follow We Are Here Lit, Tiffany Fontenot. This is a real pandemic. Young black boys were having a reading literacy level of a third grade level when they're in their late 20s, in their 30s. Like I mean, I hate to say, I got family members that literally can't read. They can't read. I got a nephew that reads better than one of my uncles.
Right.
That is a problem. We got to start early. And just because they're in prison, people don't know they got libraries in prison. You
Yeah.
know, one of the dope stories. I went to the American Library Association conference last summer. I didn't go to Chicago. I went to one in D.C. So I was in a seminar that was talking about the prison pipeline information. There was a brother that was in there, man. He said he did 20 years, man. He said, you know how I learned how to read? By reading a picture book.
Wow.
By reading a picture book. He started out from the basic, but he was looking at the illustrations, and he built up his vocabulary through picture books. And that was so inspiring. And they need to hear stories like that. You know, and reading is confidence, man. What's the support system? You know, Are you really engaged? Like in the community? Are you really tapped in? Like when I talk to these young men, I'm like, yo, man, what you read? Man, I want to read something about sports. Say no more. What you want to read about? LeBron? What you want to read about? Steph Curry? I got you. You know what I'm saying? You video games, gamers, STEM, game creation. I got you. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if you're passionate, we're in a fight, but I'm so confident in my profession. Like us as librarians, children's authors. You know this during COVID, bro. We done seen an influx of children's authors of color coming out the woodworks, and that's what we need, bro. To hear our stories.
Exactly. So for those parents, right, that are having a difficult time motivating their children to read, what type of tips, can you provide to them?
Look, spend even if it's 10 to 15 minutes a day, parents, caregivers, or whatnot. Spend 10 to 15 minutes a day. Y'all both reading a book together, or y'all both just sit down and read. Or like when I do my hip hop story time, if you got a little kid, what I'm saying, you read one page, they read another page. Read it to hip hop instrumentals. Get fun with it. It's no wrong way to read. Get creative. Every time you read a book, it should be a different experience, and that's what I preach. Even for the older kids, parents, they need to see you reading. They need to see you reading. You can't practice. You got to practice what you preach, right?
Right.
So, and also go to the library with them. Man, the library is dope. Libraries ain't like how it was when we and you grew up, bro. It's a whole
Exactly.
different dynamic. Libraries ain't quiet no more. It's more like a community center, bro. And it's an experience, man. It really is. And creating an environment where they want to read,
Yeah.
So that and it starts with leading by example.
Okay.
Malik's First Job, Financial Principles for Teens, is an excellent resource to get your children started on understanding the basics of financial literacy. This book, which is set in Brownsville, Brooklyn, about a young man who gets his first job and then shortly thereafter sits down with his dad to learn how to manage his money. There are several topics that are covered within this work, such as paying yourself first, disciplining your spending, knowing the difference between an asset and a liability, creating multiple sources of income, as well as the importance of being charitable. So again, if you want to get your children started on understanding finance and becoming responsible adults, we highly recommend that you purchase the book, Malik's First Job, Financial Principles for Teens. So please visit maliksfirstjob.com to get more information. Peace. Today is a great day to start your own podcast. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or just think it would be fun to have your own talk show, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google products, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Let's create something together. Follow the link in the show notes and let Buzzsprout know that we sent you, and that'll get you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan and help support our show. Thank you very much, and let's be great podcasting together. Peace.
Okay. So leading by example, taking some time out, reading with the kids. Anything else that you think of?
I got a good one. So this could pertain to a toddler, a kid in the first, second, third grade. If you go to a book, and let's say you go to this book right here, and I flip through it, and let's say the child can't read, can't pronounce more than 3 or 4 words, that book is too difficult for them. It's called the 5-finger rule. So if a child cannot pronounce more than 5 words on a page, that is too difficult. So you could kind of raise the reading level. Go to resources like arbookfinder.com, where you can scan the ISBN code of the book, and they'll tell you the reading level, the AR level, and the reading level. It's so many resources to assess the reading level, But also, if you know your child's struggling to read with them. I don't understand, parents, you have to give them confidence. Confidence is everything, You got to. You can't just say, hey, go in your room and read. So you remember them days, right? Hey, just go in the room and read. Them days is long gone, man. You got to look at it like this too, bro. So with the pandemic going on, a lot of the kids, the 15-year-old that was 15 when the pandemic started, is 18. They done missed out on 1.5 years or 2 years of consistent schooling and education. They're behind. Now they're in the real world, where the real world don't care that you can't read. They hope you can do the job, and you better learn how to read, right?
Right.
So it's so many different dynamics. This is why we need more advocates for literacy. Everybody got to do their part.
Yeah, exactly. And I think back to when I was in high school, and they gave me, all these different books to read, like, The Catcher in the Rye and Outsiders and stuff.
Right.
And I had a hard time reading that stuff.
Right. Because you can't relate.
Yeah. And I remember reading, I was supposed to read 1984 at the time, and luckily, I had an exam on it, and from the few pages in which I read, I kind of gathered what it was all about.
Yeah,
and I was able to answer, Big Brother is not a real thing. I kind of, in my mind, I made it up, but it ended up being the right answer. Right. But I had a hard time. But I think the first book I ever actually read was Malcolm X, the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Wow.
And what led to that was it was around the time when the movie came out, and I had this white guy in the high school that challenged me on that. Because at the time, the movie was out, everybody was, checking out Malcolm X. He's like, all y'all talk about Malcolm X, but y'all probably don't even know what he's all about.
Right.
And he asked me the question, say, well, tell me why Malcolm X is important. And I couldn't answer the question. I just knew about, what I saw in the media, but I didn't know anything else.
Right.
So the next day I went to Barnes and Nobles, and I went and bought the book, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get caught out there ever again. And that was probably the first book I read from cover to cover.
But you saw what you did? You had a thirst for information, You wanted to learn, because unfortunately as Black men, we held to a different standard. we gotta be on point. And why not be on point? We're leaders. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're leaders of the new cool. You know what, my mom, when I was growing up, I was into basketball and video games and hip hop. So my mom had me reading Slam magazines, Game Pro magazines, The Source, Double XL, Jet magazine. This was stuff that I was interested in, and that's what I was reading. I wasn't reading Goosebumps. I read a book or two, you know what I'm saying? But like, I remember, matter of fact, my mom had ordered a book. I never forget this. Remember TGI Fridays, TGIF? Mm-hmm. There was a book on Family Matters with Urkel, and I was in that was my show, and I read that book. That was my first chapter book I ever read, and that I was inspired. I met a Michael Jackson Moonwalker. They had a book on that. I read those books, and that really created my thirst for reading. That's how you got to do it. And I was a big basketball fan, so I'm reading all the Michael Jordan books, books on Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill. Like that's what sparked the love, and it's never left me.
Nice.
Shout out to mom.
Nice. Yeah, so I know what you do. Like your regular 9 to 5, you're doing, you're in the library, but outside of that, let's talk more about your company.
Yeah.
So tell everyone about the company that you own.
Yeah, so my platform is Three King Visions. It's a storytelling platform. It has evolved to, I guess I'm like the cool librarian, you know what I'm saying? But I'm all about helping kids develop the love of reading. So my storytime platform is on YouTube. I do live streamings on YouTube, pre-recorded streamings on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I chop it up on Instagram. But I'm all about bringing stories to life, and I think different, right? Like I just dropped a book with Lil Nas X, and I read it to his music. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I listen to his music? No. But guess what? I thought it was dope. You know what I'm saying? I've read popular kids' classic books to Wu-Tang. Can it be all so simple? Or Cameron, oh boy, or Nas, I know I can, or One Mic. I like to think outside the box to inspire kids. And I don't think people have seen, it's a lot of people doing read alouds and stuff, but I mean, I don't think nobody's seen how I approach story times and read alouds. It's a completely different. We're not doing the old McDonald have a farm, all this stuff. Like I come up with my own, sing-alongs, but it's all learning, right? It's an experience, right? Because I always feel like I'm hitting you it's almost like a boxer. Hit you, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? Hit you with a couple of jabs. I got you in. You know what I'm saying? I got your attention, and that's how I feel like it's the engagement. I pride myself on engagement. I feature, I would say 85% of my content is Black children's authors, 85% of them. But I welcome all authors, I feel like that's my gift, man, just to give back, man, supporting children's authors, especially Black children's authors, but children's authors in general, and just take this to the next level. We want to inspire the next Mr. Billy to become a storyteller, man. I do it in person as well. I feel like my in-person experience is something special. You know what I'm saying? But I take pride in inspiring the youth, man. There was a kid a couple years ago, man. I was living in Miami, hugged me from behind, and the mom was like, "Are you Mr. Billy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So she was like, "My 4-year-old watches your show." And I was like, "Oh man, that's dope. I appreciate it." She was like, I asked the 4-year-old a question. And she was like, "Why do you like watching this show?" The 4-year-old boy said, "Mom, because he looked like me." And I tell the story time because that's the win. Representation is everything, man. Seeing somebody that got natural curly hair, you know what I'm saying? Got a beard, I'm not, I guess, quote unquote, clean cut, but I'm a professional, When I come into work, bro, I'm coming in with the J's on. I'm dressed like this. Kids resonate with that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how you reel them in. And we just trying to do God's work, bro, with the platform.
Exactly. And with the story time, what's the age group that you try to target?
Right. So I typically go from toddlers to preschoolers, from 0 to 7. But I also think it can be for older kids. Let's say they're different reading levels. It's a form of entertainment too. you know, and we just trying to evolve the platform, man. I'm a one-man army. I'm pretty sure you know how it is, man. Like, I've been doing this platform only 4.5 years, bro. Only 4.5 years. I haven't taken off on YouTube, but my YouTube overall has over 110,000 views. I just hit over 21,000 followers on Instagram. Like, I think the right people have seen it. I've done story times for KRS-One. Man, I've been so blessed that like celebrities follow me. Like I told you, I'm a battle rapper. Murder Mook, I'm cool with Murder Mook. How the Don, Charlie Clips, DNA, all them dudes follow me. You know what I'm saying? Arsenal. Like it's been a blessing to do what I love to do. I haven't worked in 7.5 years, man. You know, being a librarian changed my life. I live good, make great money. And then my platform, I don't do it for the money. You know what I'm saying? That comes along later. But, you know, I'm pretty sure you know, man, as far as we're talking about business, your time is money now. As it start blowing up, I'm a busy man. Like, I'll be curious to know what you be thinking sometimes. Because, like, I love supporting people, but, like, hey, it costs now. It costs. But I always feel like my return on investment to you get a lifelong supporter. Like, I think a lot of authors can vouch for me, man. Like, I repost their videos all the time, read them multiple times. I'm sending them out to other different platforms because this is how you build communities, bro. And man.
Exactly. Yeah. So you say you battle rap as well?
Well, I'm into battle rap. I'm into battle rap.
Into battle rap. Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm a big time battle rap fan, man. Like I say, like Smack, RBE, all that, man. All the battle rappers, man. Loaded Lux. Like, I'm cool with all them dudes, man. Daylight.
Yeah, that's what's up. Now, are you connected at all with Hip Hop Ed?
Not yet, but I follow him.
You follow him? Yeah. You gotta make it out to one of the conferences one year.
You know what? I'm gonna have to do that. When's the next one?
It should be because I just went to it. I think it was like either like towards the end of May or early June.
Yeah.
So it should be like around the same time next year. You know.
Hey, got to get it, man. And I got to get you to get out to LA, man. Get your book out there to LA. It's going to be in San Diego next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, send me information. I'll see what I can make it happen.
I got to get your book in my library system, too. That'd be dope. They need that. They need that. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the support, man. Like, this is how you build empires, man. Like, support is free. I tell everybody, man, just inspire you, man. Support is free 99. You know,
people don't realize
all day, bro. All day. Share the content. Share it, man.
I tell people, like, some people are like, why are you sharing that person's stuff? And I'm like, yo, that took me like 2 seconds for me to repost that.
2 seconds.
It ain't cost me nothing.
Ain't cost you nothing. And people get caught up in I did a post earlier today on Threads, and I was like, don't get caught up in the numbers game. For anybody that's watching this, as far as inspiration, man, this is a grind. Don't get caught up in the numbers game. It's not how many people who follow you or how many views. It's who see it.
Right.
It's all about who see it. You know, because trust me, people watching you, and you're going to have opportunities like we was talking off camera. Consistency is everything, man. I pride myself. I think that's one thing I pride myself on. It's been days where I don't feel like posting no content, but I'm like, look, you got to post. You got to post. I'm on it. Like, we ain't playing no games with it, bro.
Yeah. And you know what's funny too is that when you say people are watching you, there's plenty of times when I'll be out in the supermarket or I'll be out about town, and somebody would stop me and say, "Oh yeah, I saw you post everything the other day." Then in my mind, I'm like, "I never saw you like that," you know. But you saw it.
But
you know, so there's plenty of people who stop me in the street and say, "Yeah, I saw you posted this or you did this X, Y, and Z," but then they never pushed like or they never shared it or whatever. I'm like, okay, but the streets is like Jay-Z said back in the day, the streets is watching.
The streets is watching. Classic album.
You know. So
but you know, and that's one of those things where you can't get caught up in that either. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing, but also have an open mind too, man. Don't be afraid to switch it up. I'm about to try some new things this weekend. You know what I'm saying? But be confident and work with what you got, man. And invest in yourself, man. Like, I invested in $1,000 camera. And, you know, so I invested, you know, I edit myself. Sometimes I pay editors, but a lot of times I do it myself. That stuff gets expensive.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with the lighting, you know, build your set, man. Like, just stay confident, man. It don't happen overnight, man. people, and then they go spin the block on you. Trust me, when you blow up. I got people right now, bro. I got a couple of DMs like, man, you doing your thing, bro. Man, like I had somebody say, man, I ain't believe it at first. And this is somebody I went to school with.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I graduated with 2 HBCUs. Was like, man, I ain't believe it at first, but like you ain't gotta. No, just watch me work. Just watch me work, man.
Exactly. So real quick, so what are your thoughts? Like again, you being a hip hop head, what are your thoughts on hip hop at 50?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you like this. So man, as an avid hip hop lover, I'm leading the 50th anniversary of hip hop program in my library district. So it's important. You know, we probably are the youngest culture. You know, I mean, my mom is 58, my dad's 62, and they grew up on hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on the Chronic. I grew up on Doggy Style. I grew up on Illmatic, the 36 Chambers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the Electric Relaxation from Tribe, Scarface, the Ghetto Boys. Like, I got exposed to a lot. And hip hop is the dopest culture, and we're the #1 culture. You know what I'm saying? We're emulating in everything, man. And I think hip hop hitting this milestone is epic because you're seeing people like Juvenile that, you know, excuse my language, back that ass up is 20 years old now. you know, but him performing at County Desk, you know, hip hop is at the stage where rock and roll and you know, country music are. Where now we got an older statesman that are be able to perform forever to make money. Some of my favorite hip hop artists. Hov is 50. Nas probably is almost 50. Rick Ross. A lot of my favorite rappers, Cameron. All these guys are in their 40s. You know, Drake ain't young. Drake ain't my age. Lil Wayne is 40. Nicki Minaj. So we're growing old with hip hop. And I love how it's evolving, man. It's different forms of hip hop now, you know? If you like the mumble rap, if you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, remember when the auto-tune came out, people weren't feeling it. But now people love it. I embrace it, man, because hip hop is my lifestyle. It's a culture. And you know, I embrace hip hop. I am hip hop when I come in the library. You know what I'm saying? Like, I take pride in that because once again, representation is important.
Exactly. I think, you know, we all grew up in the era where, you know, it was, you know, it's part of who we are.
Right.
You know, born and raised, and just, you know, we just emulated the culture so much. It's just a part of us. And, you know, you don't even have to say it or vocalize it. People just look at you and be like, okay, yeah, he's you know, the way his mannerisms are, the way he talks, you know, he's a hip hop head. So,
well, talking about the youth, how do you know how you connect with the youth? You gotta know how to speak their language, but if you ain't living that lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, like embracing the culture of hip hop, they ain't you. They gonna read you like a sucker, like, you know. So that's another lane, man. They just being tapped in, you know. So I love it, man. I have hip hop concerts in my library. You know, we had Curtis Blow come to my library district not too long ago. Yeah, man, we're trying to evolve, man. Like, as far as, you know, adaptation of hip hop, like I told you, we got hip hop lyrics workshops. You know, I do hip hop story times at my library. Like, it's so funny. Like, some of my librarians, they're like, "What is a hip hop story time?" And I'm like, "It's just a musical story time. It ain't no different. You ain't got to rap. You just reading into an instrumental." So we're just trying to be trailblazers, bro.
Exactly. And as you said, like, the whole library system is changing, it's evolving.
Yeah.
You know, because, like, matter of fact, the sister who did the illustration for my book, she's a librarian here in Richmond.
Fine.
You know, and you know, we just did a program for Black Music Month where, you know, we spoke about the music of the African diaspora. You know, from I guess the time before slavery on up to today, and you know, we had a DJ. Had a DJ in the library. You know, so we in there playing music. You know, from the James Brown to, you know, the Fela Kuti and you know, Eric B. and Rakim. So, and I'm in my mind, I'm like, there was people in here trying to study, but she was like, "Nah, we good." You know, so I mean, we had a library rocking that afternoon.
That's how you're supposed to, man. That's dope because you inspire the whole community, man. It ain't even just the kids, the adults. They're like, okay, this is a whole different environment. It's a whole different vibe. Like when Malcolm Mitchell came in my library earlier today, I think at the story time, he was like, "Yo, library's popping like this." I was like, "Yeah, man." excuse me, we feed the senior citizens every Friday, do free tutoring every day, feed the kids Monday through Friday, got programs. This is what it's all about, man. Like, being represented, man, is everything. That is our superpower, bro. As far as me, you're a Black children's author, you're a businessman. They need to see that. Having that accessibility is everything, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So for the people that want to follow you, where can they find you online?
So, first and foremost, man, subscribe to 3 King Visions on YouTube or go to Storytime Adventures with Mr. Billy. Either way, you're going to find your boy. You're going to see that baby in the crown right there. That's the logo. Subscribe, man. I'm trying to get on YouTube Kids, man. We need the support, man. Like, subscribe and share it with anybody that got little ones, man. Also, follow me on Instagram, man, and Facebook, Twitter, Threads. All that, TikTok at 3 King Visions, man. The number 3, KINGVISONS, man. We are leaders of the new cool.
Okay, cool. And you also have a website as well, correct?
Yeah, and go to 3kingvisions.com. If you're an educator, or if you want me to come to your daycare, you want to book me for a read aloud, go to my website. If you're a children's author and want me to do a read aloud, go to my website and book me right there. If you want to cop that merch, Leaders of the New Cool merch, I got it for the kids and everybody. Go to 3kingvisions.com.
No doubt. All right. So are there any closing thoughts you want to share before you wrap up?
Man, I'm just appreciative, man. Always supporting me, man. Like, support is free, and I really appreciate what you're doing, man. I'm loving your TikToks, man. You're engaged with the youth, man. Like, so many people say they're about the youth, but they like, you ain't tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you tapped in. What the young kids say, they like, you outside. So I appreciate it, man. We outside, man. That's what we doing. We putting in work.
I appreciate you as well, brother. I mean, we got to uplift each other and support each other. So because as they say, we all we got, right?
We all we got, my G.
No doubt. All right, but thank you again for taking the time. I know we had a mix-up, with the with the time zones. And this is a message to y'all podcasters and media folks. When you have your guests, make sure you coordinate the time zones. Make sure everybody's on the same time.
It's all love.
We work with a 3-hour difference. I'm checking I'm like, wait, I thought it was 6:30. It's crazy. But we worked it out.
We worked it out, man. That's all love.
Yes, sir. No doubt. But so thank you all, for checking us out again this week. Be sure to follow, Billy online, 3kingvisions.com, at 3kingvisions on Instagram, and check him out, 3 Kings Visions on YouTube, or Storytime Adventures with Mr. Billy. Have your kids check them out, man. It's a very engaging content, ready to get us to the next level. So definitely check them out, and we see y'all next week. Peace.
Generational wealth.